play.
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Happy post week one football recap of the weekend. Welcome on in, everybody. I don't know what to call it today. We have such a waterfall of, it's Labor Day. It's that little dig that we're here at work. We made our producer Alex. Hey, producer Alex, you okay? It's a long weekend for everybody.
Hey, you guys think it sucks. I got another job I got to go to after we're done.
Hey.
I got a full day.
No days off.
I'm truly celebrating Labor Day by Labor Day.
No days off.
But what better time to do it?
I know. We begged for it all year long, and here we are.
None of you listening and watching care.
No, but
it's football
come
season.
on. This is what we've been waiting for.
This is what we wait for. You're right. And he's here. And man, Alex, Get out of here. Is that a microwave in here?
It's so loud over here. I think it was going so loud and hot, man.
It's like someone's popcorn done?
It's an old guy breathing down your neck. How you doing on the radio over there?
Glad it wasn't salmon.
Yeah, the heater. I know. Put some fish in the old microwave over here.
Anyway. Alex, what a weekend.
I know.
What a great college football weekend in Utah. If you're a BYU fan, you're on cloud nine. If you're a Utah fan, you're on cloud nine. If you're a Utah State fan, you're like, we don't suck anymore.
Well, this week, right. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows what's going to happen?
You got a shot at Texas A&M next week. It'll be fun.
Every week is singularly different, very different. And the fingerprint of this weekend that makes it so interesting is just all the stuff to digest here locally, on the national scale. The thing of what we think is going to happen with teams and the stuff that actually happens, always very different. And we are like, what? That's not anywhere where we thought. So part of this show is actually going to be dedicated to some apologies a little bit later for. Now, we might have to rescind those apologies immediately and go straight back to hating on some of the people. But we have some apologies to issue a little bit later in the program. We'll do that. We'll go through and give you the recaps of all of the local teams, of course. But you're right, JJ. Football's back. That's all that matters. Here we are talking about football. We've never seen a weekend like this before. Like we said, every weekend's just a little bit different. It makes it the storylines are just a little bit different. And I don't know where to start, but we're going to have to start somewhere. So let's start with the University of Utah. Let's start down in Pasadena with all of the goings-on with what Utah did to absolutely embarrass Nico Iamaleava and his first go as a starting quarterback at UCLA. It's like he was the only quarterback in the entire world that existed this weekend down in L.A. Let's kick things off here as we always do. It's a cut. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the show. TRAJANwealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Appreciate them being on board with us and also this hour and all of our shows brought to you by the good folks at G2G Bars. So give it a shot today. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, and many other retailers in the refrigerated section. Let's get things kicked off here, JJ. Let's start with Utah. I wasn't surprised by any of this. I had a couple of people. No, that's not true. 43 surprised me. 43 surprised me. Not that they weren't capable of it, but 43 surprised me. You know why? Not just because the offense scored that much, but because UCLA was that bad still. After all that they said that they've been going through, UCLA had no answer. I don't care if you play offense or defense for the University of Utah, they will score on UCLA. Maybe that's going to be different the rest of the way through, but when you look at the top to bottom, JJ, when you look at what Utah did, the thing that impressed me the most was we knew the O-line was going to be good. And it might be premature, but let me just go ahead and say it. And I had a neighbor who left very, very late. She said, I'm buying a ticket. I'm going down to Pasadena. I'm feeling it. Late on Saturday. Midday Saturday. He's like, I'm buying a ticket. Drop of a hat. He goes down to L.A. And he's like, I'm not crazy, am I? I said, no, they're going to win by 10 plus. I thought to myself, maybe 12. I did not think 43-10. But if you're wondering if Utah football is back, look no further than the trenches. The O-line we knew was going to be good. I was blown away by the defensive line play. And you brought it up before the show, just how much pressure they gave all game long. And I like the big guys in the middle. Everybody else is all sexy on the outside. Quarterbacks are throwing and running. And Devon Dampier lived up to everything that we were hoping that he was going to be for the University of Utah. And here we are talking about it. He pulled it off, almost 90 yards rushing, super efficient, 21 for 24, 200 and how many yards? 220 something, 231, something like that.
206.
206, 2 touchdowns, no
87
interceptions.
on the ground. He was their leading passer, obviously, but also the leading rusher.
No interception. How many rushing yards do they have as a team?
286.
Yes.
Do you know how much total offense UCLA had in the game? 230.
So we did our keys to the game. Producer Alex, right before the thing. What did I say? Below 350, and you're probably going to get the win. How about below 250, and you'll blow them out? That's even better.
Yes.
So this is how you know if Utah football is going to be back. It's when that trench play, they absolutely just bully people on the inside. When they push you around at the line of scrimmage, then it's game over. Especially if you have a half-decent backfield, which, of course, you found out, not just Devon Dampier, but Wayshawn Parker looked really good. Nikai Rogers looked really good. You threw the ball at a touchdown. Was it just one throw to Lander Barton? One touch, one touchdown?
That's all they needed. One pass, one touchdown.
Are we going to see some sort of weird iteration of what they had with Caleb Lohner, where it's just like, hey, anytime I'm going to throw the ball to you 9 times this year, you better have 9 receiving touchdowns.
When it's your starting linebacker, why not? Why not?
Anyway, that's a word dump for me, JJ, but you tell me how you felt about this one.
Let me dump my words because I've got a lot of thoughts on what Utah did. So you started with trench play, and I think that's appropriate. We're going to give praise to Devon Dampier. That offense was phenomenal. But we got to start in the trenches. Let me start on the defensive side. Cam Mellor, who's a college football analytics guy, I don't know who he works for at this point, but he had these stats, and I thought they were impressive. I'm going to start with the defensive side. The defense had 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and another 24 hurries. 24 hurries? That's 60% of their non-blitz snaps resulted in pressure. 60% of their non-blitz. They're just sending 4 dudes, and they put pressure.
Yep. Every time,
Do you know how good your defense can be when you can put pressure on a quarterback 60% of the time without blitzing? That's incredible. It's by far the highest rate of any FBS defense in week 1, he said. So that defense was phenomenal, and they got back to being disruptive. I thought UCLA, played it a little conservative, so it was hard to force a lot of turnovers, but at the end of the game, they had to try to open up a little bit more, and they did. They forced a turnover. They got the interception, and they just shut them down. I'm looking at the stats. Nico had 136 yards passing. He was 11 of 22.
He's terrible.
He completed 11 passes. Now, is he terrible, or was that Utah? I mean, Utah's defense did a great job against him.
Yeah, no, they were dialed up.
Great job.
And again, when you have a defense who puts a lot of trust in the offense, like I said it last week, there were so many shoulders that were just hanging low last year. You know what I mean? Like on that defense, because they knew we're busting our butts out here, we're playing our guts out, and we're stopping these teams, and then we're losing, right? The reality is that this team, there is a totally different feel. And I know it's just game 1. Now, here's the thing, too. They were 4-0 last year. But everyone felt like it was weird, right? Everybody else felt like that 4-0
after the Cam injury, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it felt like
the Baylor. Remember, not the Baylor. The end of the Baylor game wasn't great, and you're thinking, okay, they had to make an adjustment. The Oklahoma State game was weird.
Was super weird because it was like, oh man, these two, wow, it's a slugfest, and you're like between two terrible offenses.
Tell you're watching bad football.
It was just such. It was.
But you didn't want to admit it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do wonder though, and you tell me if this is something that stood out to you. There is a way that this team has carried itself over the years. Last year wasn't there. Saturday night, they carried themselves differently, right?
Back.
Am I wrong?
The swagger's back.
Was there a vibe that just felt different in that game?
Oh, yeah. The swagger's back. There's no doubt about it. The swagger is back, and I give Devon Dampier a lot of credit for that. When you got a dude at QB, and it's not just a dude. Like, he's a good dude. Like, everybody loves him. He's got that great smile. He's infectious. It's different than Cam Rising. It's so much different than Cam Rising. It's almost the complete opposite of Cam Rising. There's something about Devon Dampier. It's like I get why these guys want to go run through a brick wall for him, and that's exactly what they did. I'm looking at the offense, and you've got to give love to the offensive line. Go on Twitter and search Spencer Fano. And there are clips out there of him just mauling dudes.
It seemed unfair.
Pancake house, baby.
It seemed unfair.
Maple syrup.
It seemed unfair at some point.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, he is so phenomenal. But the whole unit played well.
Yeah.
And this is the craziest stats, Alex. I'll share this. This tells you all you need to know about the efficiency of Utah's offense. Third down efficiency. They had 16 third downs. They converted 14 of them.
See,
why does a team ever go 14 of 16?
Conversely, I was actually looking at that this weekend too. You had UCLA that I think converted 2 out of 12 or
2 of 11.
2 of 11.
Yep.
They had more fourth down conversions than
Somehow
they did third down.
3 of 4 on fourth down.
I'm telling you, but that's not a good stat. You're not like, boy, we know how to get it done on fourth down. I was like, we had to get to fourth downs, and then even then we had to like get some tricks going on here to make this thing happen. It was a little bit of a. At the very beginning, you're going, oh, hey, Utah came out and look at them. They're punching away. Let's go. They're scoring. And, 6-0.
It wasn't like a blitzkrieg.
No,
it was just a one play at a time, road grading these guys one play at a time.
Front to back. It wasn't like it. BYU, this thing was done at halftime.
That was
Utah
different.
was just like just going and going, we're just going to keep. We're going to make you feel absolutely terrible all night long.
They put UCLA slowly through the meat grinder, and they turned the wheel slowly. And that had to be so painful for UCLA to feel that the entire game. 492 yards of total offense. 492 Utah fans.
Wild.
Your offense, Jason Beck's offense with Devon Dampier at quarterback. 492 on the road at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. They didn't play Portland State. They didn't play Middle Tennessee State. They played UCLA at the Rose Bowl, 492, 286 on the ground. And you're looking at the third down efficiency. They also had a fourth down conversion and the rushing. And that offensive line not only lived up to the hype, they exceeded it for me.
Wild.
They are phenomenal. And we haven't even got to the skill players yet.
No.
I haven't even got to Devon Dampier, who we had questions, okay, because you see that we saw New Mexico passively last year.
Right.
They played Utah State. They had a game against Arizona that was late on TV. I watched that, and it's like, who's this quarterback for New Mexico? But it's almost like, that's cute when they're at New Mexico, right? I'm sorry.
No bigger diss than you go, oh, you guys, that's cute. You guys are in Albuquerque?
Wow, something good happening for the Lobos.
It's nice that time of year, yeah. Okay.
A little bit of a golf clap.
I like the Hatch chilies you guys do.
Oh, Hatch.
Anyway.
Shout out Kenny J's Barbecue. Hey, it's not fair, but for Devon Dampier, there was this feeling like, okay, you did that at New Mexico. Can you do it the Power Four? Can you do it with Utah? And can you fix the 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions ratio? He answered every question and checked every box for me. The leadership, the swagger, the efficiency, the execution, the accuracy with his passes. He delivered in every single way for me that you want a quarterback to deliver. 21 of 25. That is efficient. 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Big deal.
16 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. 5.4 yards per rush with your quarterback. Wayshawn Parker had 5.6 yards per carry.
Yeah, and they didn't have to even run the ball that much, but they ended up with 286 yards on the ground and then 202 through the air.
They spread it around. Nakari Rogers
Amazing.
had 16 carries, Parker 11. They had a number of guys, getting Smith Snowden involved. He had a rushing touchdown. Yep. And Hunter Andrews is an intriguing guy, having him come in spots. I can go down the list of these guys that made plays in this game. And even from the receiver standpoint, turning Smith Snowden into a receiver.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they run that end around on his touchdown, and I thought, because there's part of you that goes, all right, this guy's undersized. Let's see what he does when somebody gets a hand on him. And he broke tackles, and you were like, oh, yeah, Britton Covey was undersized too. And people,
Smith Snowden is
right, but people made that mistake at their peril, where they'd go, oh, this guy's little.
Smith Snowden's 5'10", 180.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, though, but you're watching
I
him
get
and
what
you
you're
go,
saying. Yeah.
he's a speedster.
He's a defensive back.
But yes, and he gets to the edge and you're like, ooh, I don't know, he might get stopped up here. Boom, he's in the end zone. Guys who know how to score.
He really did a great job of getting north-south.
I've got a couple of sound bites from Kyle Whittingham that I want you to hear. First one was talking about Devon Dampier. As soon as this thing was done, everybody wants to ask Coach about, hey, your guy, because now he's known what he's seen the whole time. Yep. We see it finally officially because we've heard how great he is. Sly has told us before, he's like, because he gets to go and watch some practices, he's like, this guy's legit. And I'm kind of like, okay, we've heard that before, though. But let's see. And the hype has been as big as anything.
We all wanted to see.
And it's hard because
now we know.
When you throw down that type of hype, you wonder what it's going to really go as. And the guy is as cool and as calm as you can be. And I think that happens when you have the O-line that you do. Here's what Kyle Whittingham said about Devon Dampier in that first week that he had in that first win over UCLA.
Outstanding. I don't know what his numbers were in the throw game. We didn't have a ton of yards, a couple hundred. 200 yards, and he was, 21 or 26. And you talk about a guy that really has worked hard in the offseason because we knew when we took him out of New Mexico, 57% completion percentage needed to improve. The touchdown to interception ratio needed to improve. And at least tonight, that did improve. So that was great to see.
Okay.
He checked all the boxes. Every concern you could possibly come up with. Oh, he was 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Oh, he has 50-something% completion rate, like Kyle Whittingham was saying.
We overdoing it on game.
It was all at New Mexico. Oh, he was running for his life. Of course he rushed for 1,000 yards. No.
Are we overdoing it on game one, after just one game? Are we that desperate to see
I'm just saying he checked
around?
all the boxes.
I agree. I'm just saying. Look, there's a lot of football left to be played still.
The numbers don't lie. I mean, this was impressive.
But more importantly, it's a Power 4 program. I get it. And it's so weird to have. Whittingham was like, it's a Big Ten team. I was like, this
I
feels
don't know where UCLA is going to be 10 weeks from now.
Don't know either.
And they had a lot of turnover. I get it. UCLA may turn out to be fine. Maybe Utah really is this juggernaut they looked like on Saturday.
Whit talking about Jason Beck, his brand new offensive coordinator as well. Everybody wants to know, hey, Whit, how do you like these new guys? Here's what he said about Jason Beck as the OC.
I would rate his first performance an A+. The flow of the game, the calls, had him off balance. Thought the run-pass ratio was outstanding. The RPO facet that he brought and implemented. He's just a masterful play caller. At least he has been and he was tonight. So I hope it doesn't change. We hope he continues down that road.
Doesn't it seem like the relationship he has with his OCs is like more dicey than you have with other offensive coordinators? It's almost like every game he's like, "What do you think about Jason Beck?" And then Jason Beck's all like listening in, like, "Yeah, coach, what'd you think, man?" Like he suddenly turns into one of his players, and he's like A+. And then he's saying, "Hey, I liked all the things he did. I liked his passing to run ratios."
You know what it was? 26 pass plays, 54 rushes.
Oh, I love that ratio. I love that ratio.
Of course Kyle Whittingham loved that ratio.
Did you run the ball 60 times? Put it right in my veins.
Oh, and that third quarter drive? Kyle Whittingham's sitting in his office right now watching it over and over again.
He's old. 90 yards, 20 plays. What was it? It was like 8.5 minutes or something like that.
It was the meat grinder I was talking about.
It was just slowly.
It was slow death for UCLA.
You know when you have those dreams when a guy's punching you slowly and you can't move, or like your arms can't move? That's what UCLA felt like. They had nothing that they could do, and then they would even get to fourth downs.
21 plays, 80 yards, 9 minutes, 44 seconds.
All right.
9 minutes and 44 seconds of the third quarter.
Crazy. I loved it. It was great. You watch it and you go, they're putting a clinic on here. Devon Dampier, his first game. Here's what he said about the offensive line. Here's what he said about the run game and his first go here at the University of Utah.
We've been talking about our O-line all preseason, and, I think they showed it more than I did. Obviously those holes are there, and regardless of who's running that ball, we're going to get the first down. So I think we showed that, we can be very capable of being consistent running the ball.
And I think they're going to continue to do it. I mean, if you're going to get almost 300 yards on the ground, like what do you need to change? And how much easier is it if you're Devon Dampier to throw the ball 25 to 30 times a game? You run the ball 7 to 10 times a game, or even more. I think, what did he have, 16 carries? Was it 16 carries 16 carries for 87 yards. Yep. It's the type of a day, and 16 carries is kind of a lot for a quarterback, right?
Tied for most on the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Threw the ball 26 times or 25 times. That is, it's crazy because I think that most people look and they go, oh, this this Utah offense, I don't know if they're going to score, if they're going to run the ball that much. It's like, no, they know how to score. They know how to convert. And they know how to mix it up, too. And they know how to keep you off balance, like Whit was saying. Smith Snowden had a touchdown on the ground, of course. Lander Barton had a touchdown through the air, of course. And then Smith Snowden, of course, the thing he hangs his hat on, and I think the thing that's going to put him in the league, is his defensive prowess. And here's what he said about this defense.
The defensive performance was great, honestly. There's obviously plays you want to clean up, plays that you wish you could get back, but I think overall, I think we had a great day. There's some tackles that we could have made, but other than that, I think it was a really great game one, a game to kind of make a statement and kind of show people who we are and what this team is about.
Okay, there you go. You had an overall performance from that team that, checked all the boxes. I think the massive sigh of relief. My son and I were playing golf today with a couple of guys up at Valley View, and one of the guys, Tyler, who we're playing with, he's an elementary school principal, okay? And he's like, and he goes, I made the trip, like kind of same thing. He just got back from Pasadena maybe yesterday or whatever, and he goes, we're so used to feeling like, oh, well, like doing the whole, you do the thing that who's the donkey on
Eeyore?
Eeyore. All the Utah fans last year, I guess we can't have any nice things anymore. That was them. My voice is perfect today to do the Eeyore voice, by the way.
That's how the last two seasons.
No, and he's just like, you go down and you're just crossing your fingers, and then suddenly he goes. I said, was it 35,000 fans in the Rose Bowl? And he said, yeah, I think so, but a third of them were Utah fans.
Yep.
That's a trip people love to make, and they mark it down on the calendar. And in the years past, you marked it down and circled it twice. This year, they marked it down and then kind of put a question mark next to it. Do I freaking go? Do I make the trip? Utah fans.
Everybody's like kind of been like, can I go all in on this? I've had people come up to me and talk to me, at Little League football games, practices and things, like Utah fans. Hey, tell me,
is Devon Dampier going to be good?
Are they really going to be good? Are they really going to be good? I'm like, I think they're going to be really good, but we got to see it.
Yeah.
And guess what,
exactly
Utah
right.
fans, you saw it on Saturday. This team is good. How good are they? That will develop through the season, but you can go forward with confidence knowing this team is not like the last two. This team can win the Big 12.
All right. There you go. Our first sound from the University of Utah and their big win, 43-10 over UCLA this weekend. We've got much more to go around the corner. We've got a full show here for you. We appreciate you being with us on a Labor Day. If you miss any part of the program, you can always download the podcast wherever you find podcasts. And anything that you miss, you can also stream it live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, on the KSL Sports YouTube channel, on our app. You can go to the KSL Sports app. You can do it there. You can do it online at KSLSports.com. All sorts of ways to be able to watch and listen. Here we go. We got more around the corner when we return. We've got some BYU sound to play for you. Checks notes. Yep, they still won 69-0. That was a huge one.
It was a nice win.
The question is, what was the most impressive thing from the weekend? Was it how locked down that defense was? Was it how impressive Bear was with 5 total touchdowns? We'll talk about that next. Stay right here, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars get set for a home showdown with Stanford this Saturday. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
I think after that first series, we got a special teams touchdown. You kind of get the jitters out, and you kind of be mindful and present in the moment, and so kind of just get comfortable with that.
That was BYU's true freshman quarterback, JJ. I don't know if you knew this. He was Bear Bachmeier's true freshman. Just found that out.
The Centaur.
Oh, my gosh.
Is that nickname going to stick?
I mean, it better.
Thank you, Coach Barnum.
You know what's funny?
He deserves all the credit.
Yeah, that's the only way that game against Portland State's going to live on, or remembering anything about Portland State is what their head coach said about it. Do we have like an edited version of that? I don't know if we
ran it on TV last night.
Did you bleep it out?
Yo.
Did you get a call from the 8th floor?
Oh, no. There were 2 words in that quote we could not air on TV, and it's still funny blurped out.
Oh, it's almost better.
It would take Alex about an hour to carve that out, though.
But you know what's funny is that the thing about the cuss words is, so I when I was in college, the thing we watched the most was the Chappelle Show. Okay, and on Comedy Central with it bleeped out, it was so funny. I remember buying the DVDs and being like, oh, I don't like all the cusses in. Not because it's like I'm like, oh, my ears. It just sounded funnier with the bleeps. You know what I mean? It just, for some reason, it's like almost more. It's like
Jimmy Kimmel's unnecessary censorship.
Yeah, you just
one of the best
bleeps.
bits
The bleeps sound better that
all
way.
time in late night TV.
Anyway, there's Bear Bachmeier talking about settling in. So I was at the back of that press room when Bear came in there at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. You'd already heard from Kalani. You'd already heard from a couple of other players. Bear comes in. His family's in the back too. So I'm sitting back where his family is. And they are on freaking cloud nine. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're being led around by the SID staff, and they're essentially getting the best tour you've ever had after your team just scores 70 points and your son was responsible for, or at least involved in 5 of those touchdowns. And it's just a cool moment for him. You know what I mean? Like he's like, they asked about, hey, how much does this mean to you? And he goes, my family's here and stuff, and his mom's back there in the back. And if you've read anything about their story and about how this is a high performing family. Everybody knows, like, oh, you have these other athletes in the family. His parents they push these kids, man. And these kids have an innate drive. And they just have this crazy thing. And I think that Bear Bachmeier, first of all, he looks like he's 13. When you see his face, you're like, this guy is definitely a true freshman. When he came into that stadium, though, fans went nuts. When he's walking in, he did the walk-in, and The Rock was already there, and everybody's going crazy. It was awesome for him. I'm glad that an 18-year-old can have that experience, because the opposite could be, you throw a pick or two, it's 10-0 Portland State early, maybe BYU grinds out a win. We've seen that play out before, JJ. I say it as this weird hypothetical of this all universe of what could have happened this weekend, but here's the difference of Kalani year 10 versus Kalani year 2 when they sort of just snuck past Portland State at home. That whole program has grown up. The coaching staff has gotten better. The coaching staff has the same type of vibe. There is a standard that Jay Hill lives by. And the 0 that was up on the board at the end of Saturday's game is the same standard that he learned when he was at Utah. It was the same standard that he took with him up to Weber State. And I love Kalani. I think he's a great dude. I think he's fun to listen to. He's a fun interview. But Jay Hill, I feel like, runs so much of what the attitude is, not just of the defense. I think it embodies the whole rest of the team. There's a flying around that happens with this team. And Utah has it too, right? And part of that happens because you're excited to play these games, And so Bear Bachmeier goes, oh, the stats were really funny because we're looking at it and I'm going, I don't know. I don't know if people will pick this apart. I mean, who cares when it's 70-0 or 69-0? Who cares? But I don't know. He did as much as he needed to do, right? You're not going to ask the guy to do any more. You're not going to ask. You didn't need to ask him to do any more. There was no reason that you needed to get a 300-yard passing day out of him. We talked about how crazy it was that Utah just pushed over UCLA. Now, pushing over Portland State, everybody knew that was probably going to be the case, and it was even worse than we thought it was going to be. But BYU went for 486 yards on the ground. That's got to be. I don't know where that is in school history. Do you know? Do you know what that number is?
Not a record, but it's pretty darn high.
It's just crazy to watch because it was 486 yards on the ground. You talk about a coach being excited about it. I mean, that second quarter was wild. 35 points in the second quarter. The thing was, and Jack, you technically, I don't know if you call it it's not a defensive score, but Jack Kelly scooping up that ball on the field goal block and then getting that touchdown that way, that kicked things off because the offense was kind of like, okay, sort of, stopped a little bit. Oh, okay, this isn't going that great. And it was just, it was kind of hit and miss, and they were trying to get their feet under him. And as soon as that happened, then it was just an outpouring. The more important part of it, I think, was you didn't just get 600 yards of total offense. You held Portland State to 50 yards of total offense. They had -5 yards rushing. We were all watching it during the game. We're like, oh, on this last drive, they're going to get above. They were at -2 going into those last, those minutes that didn't matter. Those last 2 minutes that they held the ball. And BYU took more yards off of their total. So they had -5 yards rushing. They had 56 passing yards. And I think we looked at it too. 30 of their yards came in their first 2 drives. And then after that, nothing. So as impressive of a performance, but again, it's against a really bad FCS team. So what do you really learn out of something like this, JJ?
That's a good question. And I think you have to look for two specific things when judging a performance in a game like this. Yes, BYU was playing not just an FCS opponent, but that's a really bad FCS opponent. They're not good. That's not a good football team.
You better get all the good quotes out of the coach while you have him, because it might not be long.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there a while in Barn and Ball. They've had some good years there, but this is not going to be one of them. So when you're watching a game like this, you're obviously not going to judge the outcome. BYU is going to win this game. They're going to win it by a lot. The 69 number is really impressive because that's a lot of points. I don't care who you're playing. They really poured it on there. The yardage, 606 total yards, impressive, right? What you're looking for in a game like this is you want efficiency and you want execution, because it's not about the opponent in this game. It truly is not, because you have every advantage over them at every single position. You're twice as big as they are in every spot on the field. You're two times more athletic. So you should out-execute and be better efficiently than they are. And you had the first drive that was not great, and then you had the fumble by Parker Kingston, and you're thinking, oh boy, that's an example of what I'm talking about. Is in a game like that, you can't be sloppy, you can't have bad drives, you should be dominating. So early on, I think BYU fans were a little nervous, like, oh, what's this? You mentioned it, the blocked field goal attempt and the return by Jack Kelly flipped a switch on that team, and from there on out, the efficiency was at a high rate, and the execution was almost flawless. And the floodgates opened, and we saw what BYU can be and do. So that's how I'm judging this game, Alex, is on the efficiency and the execution. Specifically to Bear Bachmeier, I thought he executed at a very high level. He did exactly what he was asked to do. He only played a half. But for you to go out there as a true freshman in Lavelle Edwards Stadium with 65,000 fans yelling and screaming, your first start, you're going to be hella nervous. And he looked cool as a cucumber, and he threw a nice ball, and he ran the ball really well, and he ran that offense efficiently, and we saw what that offense can do. Yes, your opponent sucked. Who cares? Were you efficient? Did you execute well? And I believe they did. And now I'm looking forward, Alex, and I see the schedule. BYU is going to be favored in the next 5 games, all the way leading up to that Utah game. And we'll see how it plays out. They might even be favored in that game. I have now seen enough in that game against Portland State to believe that Bear Bachmeier can go out there. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but he can, if he executes and is efficient like he was against Portland State, BYU can win these games because they have so much talent everywhere else. And you saw all of that talent on display. Guys like Cody Hagan getting a chance. I mean, the list goes on and on. Look at the stat sheet of guys that touched the ball on Saturday.
Okay,
they have playmakers.
I looked at I was looking at the stat broadcast, one, and they have the deep dive into all the stats and stuff. And I went down and I went, I'm going to look and see how many guys took snaps. 77 guys took snaps for BYU.
Great.
77 guys
in
took
a 69-0 game against Portland State. That's exactly what should happen.
I thought that's 77. Finding places for 77 guys to take snaps is pretty wild.
Cole Hagan came in at quarterback. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. You want all those guys to get a chance in front of your home fans. They'll never forget it. It's good for your program.
Did you say Bear Bachmeier was hella nervous? Is that what he said?
He had to be.
That's the first. I think that's
maybe not though. I mean, he's half man, half animal. He's the centaur.
He's a centaur.
His name is Bear. Maybe he's not like the rest of us. I don't know.
I thought that was weird that the kid's name's Bear, and he's like a centaur. I was like, no, he's a bear. Come on. Here's what Bear Bachmeier had to say about. By the way, he's been coached up on the media side of things, at least a little bit. Here's what he said after the game about improving himself for next week.
Our first series could definitely be better. You want to get first downs, and that happens in the first game. But I think we can come with our hat on fire and go score a touchdown in that first series.
Does he have a little bit of a Mahomes kind of?
That sounds like our good friend Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, going out there.
A little less Kermit the Frog in his voice than the legend Patrick Mahomes. But it's got a little Patrick Mahomes of that to the voice there.
So Kalani came in. By the way, he was way late to the press conference. I think they had a little bit of extra party going on in there. Maybe they were doing more. Maybe they were filming more for their special highlight stuff they put together. They're like, hey, no, I want to redo that dance. Hold on,
so
let's
take
another take.
Was he doing it for the gram?
He could have been.
Go check BYU's TikTok.
But you know how it is too when you get down in the lower parts of the stadium there, and you can hear the locker room kind of buzzing, and you got the music pumping, and all of us nerdy sports, journalists are sitting, and then everyone's going, and you hear like in the door next to you, and they're like, whoa, and we're in there going, how are you? Everything good? Do you have a good game? Fun. It's the worst. And then coach comes in and he's like, okay, wiping his like eyes off, he's wiping the water out of his hair. All right, how you guys doing? Sorry I'm late. And we're like, it's been a long time.
Kalani covered in Martinelli's. Slow down, guys. It was just Portland State. Jeez.
There's something to that though, right? Like, come on. 69-0 against Portland State, like slow your roll a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what Kalani said about shutting down Bear after the first half. I think all of us were expecting maybe to see him in the first drive or two in the second half. He said it was actually, they had to make the decision, and it wasn't like, a set thing like, oh, no, we're taking him out right now. It was like, what do we do here? Here's what he said about it.
I think at the end of the first half was kind of like that was enough. I think we wanted to see him in that, and I don't think anyone can blame us for trying to score in a 2-minute situation. So once we saw that, I think it was easy to shut it down. I'm not trying to pad stats. I'm trying to keep guys healthy. And at the same time, you can keep guys healthy, but then work on depth and get some valuable reps. I think it's going to pay off in the long run.
Who was it that scored at the end, by the way?
Wasn't Charles Miska?
It was like the 5th or 6th string like running back.
Yeah, Dominique McKenzie got a touchdown.
Yeah. McKenzie's quick, man. So is Hagan.
I saw Dom in high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it was dad's Brian McKenzie.
Right, but think about the like to see the Hagans out there, right? Was Jackson at the game? Was Jackson Dart at the game?
Yeah.
Somebody was showing pictures of him.
Yeah, he was in the house.
He's showing some Corner Canyon love to his dudes out there.
I guess, yeah.
But I'm telling you, it was to see what they did, to have as many guys get those touches. Like I said, 77 guys taking snaps for BYU is wild. And it was crazy because, how you sit up in the booth, sometimes been up in that press box. And where we are, the kind of the radio people are on the far right. You guys are up on the far left. The people behind us are the ones who have to have the official stats for BYU. They have the binoculars out, and they're looking at every player who's in. They're like, I've got 11, I've got 19, I've got 44, I've got 39. They're just naming off all these different guys. Every play
Pray for that guy's family today. He's having trouble getting out of bed.
I know, and I'm telling you,
he's got to be sore.
And some guys it was probably actually like 79 or 80 guys who got in. But their stats will never be lived because no one knew that they were in because so many dang people got in. Holy cow, it was a lot. All right, here's Kalani talking about the quarterback room. They played a lot of quarterbacks, like you said. 4 QBs taking snaps for BYU on Saturday. Not a bad day for the quarterback room.
I felt really comfortable with all our quarterbacks. And so when you saw McKay and Trayson come in the game, they had a very similar demeanor about them and a good presence. And that's a good sign. They're making plays. I mean, the command of the offense, those guys get it. And so just have to give hats off to the quarterback room getting that place ready. And then even Cole Hagan came at the end and got some reps too, So trying to figure out what to do, the best thing to do with Emerson, trying to preserve his redshirt year.
All right, there you go. We'll see how this thing goes. You have a lot of 70-0, 69-0 games. You're going to burn a lot of red shirts. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We've covered Utah. We've covered BYU. We've got lots to still break down. We haven't totally gotten to everything, though. We're going to get all to it. We've got our Weekend Warriors we're going to get to as well. Stay right here with us. More to go around the corner. Before I get out, though, I want to tell you, every Wednesday is a Win Ticket Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone. Your chance to win tickets this week to the Utah State Fair, September 4th through the 14th. You got the Big Yellow Slide, best corn dog in the world, the butter sculptures, the arts and crafts, the rodeo, the demolition derby, rock bands, all of it right there at the Utah State Fair. Go check it out for yourself. You can also win all day long on our Win Ticket Wednesdays. We'll come back. More to go right around the corner. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. It's a trip to College Station for Utah State as they take on Texas A&M. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen, thanks for being with us today, everybody. Weekend Warriors. People who won the weekend here for us, brought to you by the good folks at Gillette Heating and Air. Right now, get seasonal maintenance done on your furnace or air conditioning for just $59. You're about to start, and I know it sounds weird, but it's September now, man. You know how quickly we turn that corner into the winter? Call Gillette Heating and Air. See if your furnace is up to snuff. GilletteHVAC.com. Make an appointment today. All right, people who won the weekend here for us. Ooh, how about this battle of America's finest at the U.S. Open? Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff. This was of much anticipation, and it looks like Naomi Osaka gets the edge on Coco Gauff. I like that. I like this matchup because, you know, it just means that we have some good American tennis players again. Not on the men's side necessarily. What do we still have one guy in it? Fritz.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't even know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is like, come on, the women can figure it out, men. Why can't you? Let's go. But yeah, Naomi Osaka defeating Coco Gauff at the U.S. Open, so that's a big one. Did you watch that? Look, and I'll bring it up a little bit later, but did you see C.J. Daniels' one-handed touchdown catch?
We showed the highlights last night on KSL Sports Live. Yes.
So wild. One, the rain's coming down like crazy. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking, oh, okay. But when he... And look, defensive back coach, and one of the best defensive backfields in the entire country, Notre Dame. And that safety's like, I got a free interception right here. He thought it, right? When you go watch that replay over and over again, that safety's like this, basically. Instead of playing the man, he's playing the ball, and the ball got snagged and high-pointed one-handed. And I was so glad that he would I'm so glad that when they did the review, there wasn't any, the ball didn't hit the ground or anything like that. It was wild. It was a wild catch, and it was one of the best of the weekend. So, good for him.
Former Liberty receiver, played against BYU. CJ's in his 6th year of college football.
That's like not even that many these days. And then, you've got some sound on it. All right, let's take a listen to that one-handed snag and what it sounded like with that touchdown with Miami getting the dub over Notre Dame.
36 yards, 12 for 19 total. Under pressure, off his back foot, up for grabs, and caught! C.J. Daniels, a tremendous one-handed catch.
Okay, there you go. That's what it sounded like. How about this one? For what this one sounded like, by the way. Tommy Castellanos, when Florida State was talking trash in the offseason of Alabama, I went, this isn't good. Turns out they might have been right about what Alabama was going to bring to the table. They get the W, and not only that, they shocked the entire college football world.
Fake the jet sweep, Tommy to throw, wheel route, wide open, Lucas, midfield, 45-40, 35-30, far sideline, a foot race, 10-5, out of bounds at the 3. Ask and you shall receive. The turnover, the wheel route, big play alert for the Noles.
That sounded like almost like it was from the 50s or something. Like the radio, right? It had like a little bit of
That's
like
a real humdinger of a throw.
A wheel route. I do love when he goes, 10-5, out at the 3. Like you go, okay, well, that's not much of a payoff, but okay.
Not really.
There you go.
And poor Alabama. Oh, poor Alabama.
I just want to see him get back to...
so sad.
I want to see him get back to that.
Can the Crimson
standard.
Tide ever get a break? Overlooked in the college football playoff last year, and now this.
Kalen DeBoer. Going to say, is Alabama going to have to be one of those programs? They're like, are we going to have to pay a guy? Are we going to have to pay a guy?
Is this Alabama's Jimbo Fisher?
He's not coaching here for like the next 5 years? Like, man, you were bad. Here's $6 million for the next 5 years in a row, just so you don't have to talk to us ever again. Yeah, why not? So there you go. There's your weekend warriors, people who won the weekend. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We've got a guest right around the corner, Bill Bender, for the Sporting News, going to join us next right here, college football writer. I want to get some vibes as to what this AP poll is going to look like tomorrow, or what the polls are going to say. Who absolutely is going to just shoot up that thing, and who's going to fall out. More to go around the corner. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's the home opener for the Utes as they battle Cal Poly in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in. It's JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen. Yes, the career path that we've taken means we work every Labor Day. You know why? Because finally we freaking have something to talk about that isn't just hypothetical or even week 0 stuff, JJ. I mean, God bless the teams who play on week 0, but I was looking forward to a full slate of college football, and we got it. And, man, it delivered, especially here locally. Joining us on the program right now, he is Bill Bender, college football writer for Sporting News. Our show brought to you by G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives. Let's get things started off here with the cut, top of the hour.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This portion of the program, The Cut, brought to you by an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. It is your Doug Smith family of dealerships across all those brands. You can trust those guys. Nobody knows cars like Doug. And college football, of course, is one of those things where, and we appreciate people laboring with us on Labor Day, and Bill Bender's one of those guys, college football writer for Sporting News. Bill, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, I can't remember the last Labor Day where I didn't work, so it's but it's worth it, right?
Sure.
Because
it's a labor of love.
Yeah. And, well, the thing about the first weekend is, we have Belichick tonight, of course, but you zoom right into week 2. Mm-hmm. And after 5 nights of it, you wake up on Tuesday and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm still trying to pick up the pieces from everything we've watched the last couple nights.
Oh, so much to dig into. And I'll start with this. There was some big games this weekend. What of the big games this weekend, what team impressed you the most?
Oh, boy. I was at Ohio State, Texas, and their defense, both defenses were amazing. Yeah, everybo's focused on Arch and Arch struggling in his debut, but, man, you asked a lot going against that Ohio State defense, and I think both of those teams are going to be fine. I'm going to go LSU. And I say because BK took all the heat, can't win the big game, all those things about fit and Baton Rouge. Their defense looked furious. Unreal. Great linebacker play from Weeks and Perkins. Going into Death Valley, that's a tough place to play. They even made a couple mistakes, and they were able to overcome those. And Garrett Nussmeier kind of a steady hand there. So I would probably say out of the top 10 teams, they're one and followed closely. You guys tell me. I get tricked into it all the time, but, man, Miami with Carson Beck was pretty good.
Yeah.
We get tricked into it. We said the same thing. We've got to make our apology tour, at least after 1 week. We might have to rescind the apologies at some point, but there are a lot of people who are like, no, there's no way Miami's that good. No, Carson Beck, come on. It's a guy who he won because he was at Georgia, man, and well, he showed up. He knew the haters.
Well, maybe Notre Dame without Jeremiah Love 100% isn't good either.
Yeah, that's another thing. I will say that Texas and Ohio State game, I looked at it the same way you did, Bill, where I was like, look, I know we're talking about a quarterback who's kind of finally getting his time and making those starts. I mean, the reality is he's not been asked to do exactly what was asked of him on Saturday, and I don't know what to make of it. Everybody did see the missed throws and the miscues and things like that. You look at it like, hey, this guy's just got to get the first couple game jitters out. Do you think Texas can work its way back to the college football playoff and maybe even an SEC championship?
Sure. Yeah, and with that defense, the next 3 weeks they're playing San Jose State and Sam Houston, and they'll get themselves ready for a matchup against Florida in the Swamp. And I was thinking about this. I looked way back, and I know everything's short-term these days, but I remember Peyton. And, imagine Peyton on social media after his first start against the top 10 team when he went to Alabama and struggled and threw 2 picks, and they lost like 13-10. So Peyton turned out all right, Eli turned out all right. So I think it's just a matter of he needs some experience, and Ohio State had some things with Matt Patricia. You guys may be able to do this better than me, but when Sark's saying they were disguising coverage well, it's pretty clear the guy knows what he's doing with the NFL background. So, I try not to overreact about Arch, and I use the phrase, he's a victim of our creation and our idea of what he's supposed to be because we want him to entertain us like the Mannings always do.
Yeah. How concerned should we be about Alabama? I mean, none of us actually really
none of us are concerned.
care.
Like,
we're going to cry a tear, shed a tear for them.
Hurt for them, but
how concerned should we be about the fall of Alabama? Is this just a week one thing, or is this lingering from last year? What's up with the program in Tuscaloosa right now?
I think there's 15 programs in the SEC that aren't concerned at all about Alabama. But here's the most telling thing to me, and the most damning thing to me in some ways is Nick Saban lost 6 road games from 2014 to 23. And Alabama's lost 4 of their last 5 road games. That's always the sign to me that if you can go in, that's why I was impressed with LSU. They went into a road environment and won. And we were so spoiled of watching Nick Saban do that time and time again. But that to me is just part of the issue. They just looked not as engaged. You're watching a lot of clips today of analysts, and the effort's not there, and the discipline's not there. And here's where I thought that game was over. Florida State went for it on 4th and 1 on their own side of the field, 34-yard line. They give the ball to an Alabama transfer running back, Rodell Williams. He runs through Alabama linebacker. And I said, that's game. That's that Florida State arrogance that was back. And if you're the ACC commissioner, if you're ACC fans, you're Florida State and Miami, the 2 programs that I think the 3 of us would all identify most with in the ACC, they both stood up and showed out for the conference this weekend.
Which was, I think people looked at Miami. I haven't been a huge Mario Cristobal fan since he went there because it just seems like they couldn't turn that corner yet there at Miami. But what have they done to impress? I think in that first week, obviously, what he's doing down there in Miami. I mean, Miami's looking around and going, hey, we don't want to be left out of this college football playoff going forward.
They were close last year, 10 wins last year. What stands out to me is the trenches.
Yep.
Francis Mauigoa is a top 5 pick, and their other tackle was good. Reuben Bain Jr. getting after the passer, he's a first-round pick. And, you think about Miami, right? And I did a list of Miami's greatest players a couple weeks ago, and 4 of the top 6 guys on that list are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The Warren Sapps and Michael Urbans and Ed Reeds. And, to me, it's not a secret. Florida schools need to get the 5-star guys to play at Florida schools. Jeremiah Smith's at Ohio State right now. Jordan Seaton went to Colorado. If they can keep those guys in state, they're going to be dominant. So, and Cristobal does do a good job on the offensive line. That's one of the things he's always done well is coached O-line.
Got to get your thoughts on Utah. I don't know if you stayed up late on Saturday night to watch that game. We all were cautiously optimistic about this new offense and Devon Dampier, and they go out and just absolutely demolish UCLA. They punked them in the trenches, and Dampier was as good as advertised. What are your thoughts on Utah, and are they now looking like a team that could win the Big 12 in your mind?
Well, 2 things. One, I put Devon Dampier on my Heisman long shots, and that felt really good watching him do what he did. Because it's possible. And the reason it's possible to me is, and I don't know if I said this on you guys' show yet, you look at quarterbacks that have won the Heisman in the last 15 years, and I think 5 of them had 1,000 rushing yards. Guys like Cam and Kyler and Lamar and Johnny Manziel and Jaden Daniels, all 1,000-yard rushers. And Dampier is able to do that, have those kind of numbers, lead a Big 12 run, he'll have a chance. I think – one thing for you. On our 1-to-136 later in the week, I will have Utah ranked in the top 25. That's how impressed I was. And the flip side of that is, as a Big Ten homer, Utah beating UCLA, it was the only Power 4 matchup head-to-head the Big Ten lost, but I'm still calling it a Pac-12 matchup for UCLA's sake. Okay? So,
For UCLA's sake, or for UCLA's sake, or for your sake, to be like, oh no, that's not a Big Ten team, or what are we talking about here?
Yeah. It will still go down as a loss in the spreadsheet and in the articles, but But I did stay up late and watch it because I wanted to watch Devon and see what that looked like. Also impressed with Utah's defense, no doubt. Looked really good on that side of the ball. And when you sort out Big 12 contenders over the last few weeks, we're going to learn more about Arizona State and Mississippi State this week. And we're going to learn more about Iowa State in their annual game with Iowa which my editor's an Iowa grad, so he's telling me Hawkeyes this weekend.
As you look at the landscape of all the conferences, and everybody kind of goes, and we do this every year where we say, oh, this is the way this team is going to be, and this is the way these teams are going to be. And then we always get shocked, or not necessarily shocked, but we get kind of shown differently. When I see what the Big Ten or what the Big 12 is doing, I look and I go, man, they didn't play enough. They didn't play enough teams that had weight to them enough. This is why changing the schedule matters, because if you're playing games that are Power 4 games, people are going to watch them. So there's the part where you can market your conference, and there's the part where you go, what are you even getting with these teams? And so, is there a world where these FCS games or these cupcake games go away? And is the college football playoff cleared the way by saying, hey, we're not gonna ding you as much if you get a loss to a big team?
I hope so. I mean, I don't really need to watch Ohio State play Grambling this week. You know what I mean? And I don't need to. Texas Tech, I just looked at it. They put up 70+ on Arkansas Pine Bluff. We don't need those games. As far as the Big 12 and scheduling, I think a couple teams missed opportunities this week. Cincinnati had a chance against Nebraska late. Bad interception at the end of that game. And, Colorado, obviously, Georgia Tech, that was a good game. Colorado isn't – you know what? I don't want to say it impressed me, but I think we all assume Colorado is going to be terrible with Travis Hunter and Shedeur gone, but they have some toughness on the trenches too. I mean, behind Seton, their defense is a little bit better. They just don't have like a Travis Hunter that did the things that Travis Hunter does. So I think that's going to make it tougher for them. And then tonight's an opportunity. If TCU shows up Belichick here with Josh Hoover, who had really, as you guys know, really good numbers last year, that's an opportunity for Sonny Dykes and TCU to avoid what happened to them 2 years ago against Colorado.
We got our chance to see Bear Bachmeier, a true freshman quarterback, play for BYU, and I'm sure you watched every snap of that game. I'm not going to ask you to break down the Cougars in Portland State.
I was there and I didn't. So,
but if Bear Bachmeier can be that efficient as a true freshman quarterback, what can that do for BYU, a team that before they lost Jake Retzloff was considered by many to be a top 25, maybe even a top 15 team? If they can get that kind of efficient quarterback play out of him, what does that do for BYU?
They'll be right in the mix. I did not break down the entire Portland State film yet. I think you guys can assume that. But and then Retzlaff had a decent game for Tulane as well.
Yeah,
so
they look like the top group of 5 team now, right?
Well, I think it's going to be really entertaining watching Tulane and Navy and South Florida, who has an opportunity against Florida this weekend, even if they lose. I mean, go play well against Florida. That was probably, you want to talk about surprises, watching South Florida just hammer Boise State. And I know it was at home and no Ashton Genty. I get that, but I did not expect that score at all. But to answer your BYU question, they could absolutely be in the mix. We have them in that top 30 range, top 40 team, and they did have several good pieces back, good running game. Tough at home, live off turnovers, and we're going to see. I believe they play Stanford this week, right?
That's
Stanford
correct.
Stanford coming off a bye week,
early bye week.
Their game.
yeah.
That long.
They needed
it. They're improved though. I think. I know they lost, but I think they're a little bit better than they were last year.
Real quickly before we get out, and I know you guys are going to do your rankings, but who's the team that do you think tumbles the most, and who do you think rises the most when the top 25s kind of across the board start to come out?
Well, the question becomes, is Alabama going to be ranked?
Ooh.
And I think they will, but they'll drop to the 20s. Kansas State won't be ranked. That's one bold prediction I have. You can't lose your first game and then barely get by North Dakota. I think they'll fall out of the top 25. I think Utah will have a chance to be ranked. I'm not trying to be edgy on your show. I can send a screenshot of my Word doc right now. And then Georgia Tech will be close to be ranked. And then LSU, in my opinion, probably jumps up to number 4 behind Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, and then suddenly Brian Kelly. We'll see if he gets a little edgy in his press conferences, given all the criticism he took, and he probably has a right to.
Yeah. I think, did you see the video of him tripping over the ref and like he's getting
he got ran over, yeah.
You're like, I don't know if you should be so mad at that guy. He's kind of doing his job. I know you're doing yours.
You got in the way, buddy.
Yeah, come on. Bill Bender, college football writer for Sporting News. Appreciate the insights here. Go check it out for yourself. They're going to have their re-ranks all year long and kind of giving these teams where they're going to be and where, look, and it's not just ranking all 25. It's not ranking the top 25 only, ranking everybody. So it's a lot of work. So, Bill, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for being on the program.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you too.
Bill.
There you go, Bill Bender. Hey, BYU fans, Stanford's getting better. Better watch out.
Nah.
No? All right.
No.
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about. Like week one, who knows? Again, we're going to do our apologies coming up here in just a little bit. But like, hold the phone. They're going to be apologies with an asterisk because I'm also going to kind of be praying that I have to rescind the apology at some point. Okay? So I'll apologize this week. I don't like the people I'm apologizing to either. All right? So there, I said it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more to go around the corner when we return. We do have our first week apologies, and so that'll be coming up next. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars get set for a home showdown with Stanford this Saturday. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen. Thanks for being with us today. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday. Thanks for Monday, Labor Day. Yeah. So thanks for being with us on a Labor Day. We appreciate it. We're over here just working hard. You know what I mean? You might have the day off, but we're over here sweating our butt off talking about sports, man. Woo!
It's a labor of love.
JJ did have to put a tie on today, so extra bonus points on having to work on a Labor Day, not just radio, but also TV. So JJ always wins the extra effort award on this program.
I'm the best dressed member of our radio staff.
Oh, in this room for sure. Well, no, listen, the entire staff. For sure. You guys, you TV guys, you get it dialed in, man.
I would love to come here with shorts and a T-shirt, but not today.
Hey, listen, you can nominate the U Sports Volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week Award. How does that work? Every week we take your nominations. You submit them at kslsports.com/contests, and we take the nominations for people who are awesome youth sports volunteers in your neck of the woods. So if there are people out there that are doing like for JJ and my kids, coaching them while you're at work, or coaching them while you're away on a Saturday, and I miss a lot of football games during football season, so I appreciate those the moms and dads who do the extra mile thing to make sure, even just the ones that like film all the games and put them on. I'm blown away by the parents who are nice enough to be able to do that stuff so I can actually see my kids' games and see how this goes and check the highlights. So if you have a youth sports volunteer that does an amazing job, nominate them at kslsports.com/contest, and then they get a prize every week from the Hercules First Federal Credit Union folks and also from Beehive Meals. And then we read those nominations off every week, and we honor those youth sports volunteers. So there you go, the Hercules Hero of the Week Award. All right, it's that time of the week for us to do something a little different here, and that is, look, JJ, we're not above humbling ourselves and swallowing the pride a little bit. If we get something wrong, we want to owe some apologies here, so let's go ahead and do it. Ah, yes. I just thought it'd be good for us to be able to have in the background while we make our apologies.
I don't think I could apologize without this music.
Me too. Apologies owed across the weekend. You ready for this? First off, Carson Beck. I thought that the Lamborghini, the elbow surgery, I thought all of it was going to add up to you being crap. And against Notre Dame, at least at Hard Rock Stadium this weekend, you weren't crap, kid. Is he a kid when he's 27 and a half and he's playing his like 9th year of football?
How old is he?
I don't know. He's just like everybody else. They're just like, I'm in my 5th year. Okay, you're 23 and a half. Okay, fine. Carson Beck, I apologize, man. You had a game. And the Miami Hurricanes, I'm not going to go back and say, Bill Bender mentioned it. He's like, you guys know how it is. Like, we grew up kind of just like giving Miami the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were always a super good team. They always had amazing players. they always won the recruiting battles. And that hasn't been the case over the last few years, but to get Carson Beck was a big deal. So I apologize to Carson Beck. I refuse to apologize to Mario Cristobal yet. I still haven't turned that corner of the
some pride left.
Some of the pride is still. I can't
humbled yourself completely.
I can't totally
on the Hurricanes.
give myself over to Miami yet. But what's that bird's name? What's that stork's name? I apologize to you, Miami stork. He's not a stork. What is he? He's like it's like a bird that flies in the Hurricanes. I don't know what they're called.
A bird that flies in the Hurricanes?
Yeah, that's why he's that bird, man. Hey, Brewster Alex.
Sebastian the Ibis.
Ibis. They love the Hurricanes, man. They're like, they go in there. That's where they feast, man. They're like, get me in the hurricane.
They are the last of wildlife to take shelter before a hurricane.
Yeah.
And the first to reappear after the storm passes.
They just sound like they're dumb, is what it is. What? Is a hurricane? Well, it's probably only a Category 1 or something, right? They're like, get out of here, Ibis. Get out of here, Sebastian. All right, so apologies to Carson Beck in Miami for now. JJ, any apologies you want to throw the way of people in college football or anything else across any other
I owe
sports?
one to Brian Kelly. LSU was awesome.
Ooh, that feels tough. That feels like a tough one, by the way.
And Nussmeier too. I was like, you know what? I mean, they didn't finish last year ranked in the top 25.
No.
And there was a lot of hype coming in for them. Brian Kelly, everything it did at Notre Dame was kind of good, but not quite good enough, you know. And I felt like he's coming to LSU and he's going to get LSU athletes. What's he going to do with it? At least week 1, LSU is one of the most. We just talked to Bill about it. LSU is probably the most impressive team with one of the best wins in week 1, and they're going to rise at the polls because of it. So Brian Kelly, LSU, I apologize, and I especially apologize because you did not deserve to get run over by an official.
Yeah, but when he got up and got all mouthy with him, I get it. You're embarrassed.
Of course, it's Brian Kelly.
I get it. He's embarrassed a little bit, and people show their true colors when they're in an unexpected situation, right? Brian Kelly gets run over by a ref, and he's like, "Hey, screw you, buddy! Hey, what are you doing over here?" It's like this guy, he kind of needs to be here.
He's doing his job, bro.
Yeah, it's not the water boy getting in your way.
You need to do yours. Stay out of the way.
So. Go back and watch that video, by the way. He harasses this ref, and you're like, what do you think it is that he does? Because you don't want this side judge to miss the call, because if he does, you'll kill that guy. But, don't run over me. So Brian Kelly can't stop being Brian Kelly, but yeah, we apologize. Hey, I want to say, I don't know how long this is going to last, but the Baylor Bears were at home hosting Auburn, and I thought for sure they were going to get a win. And I thought for sure that they were going to show Auburn, they were going to expose Auburn for the team that didn't recruit during the offseason. And Hugh Freeze and his golf game and all that stuff. And Auburn came in to Waco, beat up on them. They win by a couple touchdowns and walk out of town. And they made them look silly, and they made us look silly. So I apologize to Hugh Freeze and Auburn. Now, again, all these, I want to put an asterisk next to all these. They can all be rescinded at any moment, right? I'll apologize for now. Imagine if you did that in your marriage, by the way. Yeah, for now, I'll apologize. So you got just temporary.
But I have the right to rescind.
Yeah, this is a temporary apology. And as soon as I can rub it in your face that I was right, I'm going to take that apology back. No, I don't know. Hugh Freeze and Auburn, they look better than we thought they were going to look. And at the very least, they come in and they get a win over a team that we have is pretty high up in the Big 12. And that was a home game for that Big 12 team, and they did not show up for that one. Speaking of showing up on game day, despite the fact that social media had a heyday with Ryan Day, whatever was going on his shirt, you said it was Photoshopped. I still don't believe it.
Folks, if you got duped over the weekend, Ryan, just for Men Day, does not have a nipple ring.
I don't ever want to hear the term nipple ring on this program again.
It's not real. But everybody was in a frenzy. Oh, my gosh. Ryan Day has a nipple ring? No, he does not. That was Photoshop.
If you tell me Ryan Day doesn't use Just for Men on his beard, I'll get a nipple ring. All right?
On air?
On air.
We're gonna dig into the old 1280
no,
bag of tricks?
No, thank you. I mean, who would we get? We bring somebody in? No, that's an old
I would just take you down to Claire's.
Go there. Hi, what are you looking for? Something for your daughter? No, for me. Oh, you're going to pierce your ears?
How do you ask for a nipple ring at Claire's? How does a guy in his mid-40s ask for a nipple ring at Claire's?
Is your manager here? Had a quick question to ask. Do you get a discount? Do you get 2 for 1? I don't know. So there you go. Ryan Day at Ohio State. An apology to you guys.
Yeah,
because,
sorry about the nipple ring story, too, Ryan.
No, that's tough. Sorry about that.
It's
It turned out it was fake. We didn't do it.
On behalf of all media, even bad media or bad,
Whoever did
bad
that.
social media.
Although
Sorry,
fun.
Ryan.
It was fun for the morning, though. We had a great time on the Saturday on our College Football Saturday show. We didn't roll it out. We didn't try to say it was breaking news or anything, which I'm glad about. People are like, what happened in that Ohio State game? Well, I'll tell you what happened before it. Ryan Day went to Claire's. Boom. NIL deal with Claire's. That's why I trust the people at Claire's.
I was there with my daughter. I was feeling a little frisky. I was like, I don't do anything edgy.
Throw a curveball in here.
I'm almost 50 years old. I'm going to try something new.
Midlife crisis. Feeling weird. Let's go to Claire's.
Let's go.
Come on. Ryan Day and Ohio State get the win over Texas. 14-7 is a boring friggin' game.
Is Ohio State going to be a defensive juggernaut this year? Is that what they're going to be known for this year?
So I was reading something where they're
impressive.
like, who is it that I saw talking about it too? They're like, that defense has 4 guys who are going to be in the NFL next year. And then the people who don't go to the NFL, they'll be in the NFL the next 2 years after that.
Wow.
And Texas is the same way, by the way.
I know.
Neither of these offenses were just like, I mean, and I know Arch Manning, I mean, he skipped a couple passes that you're like, oh boy, what's going on here? So I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not, but to be determined later. So apologies. And I'll apologize to Arch Manning for us really going too hard at expecting a lot out of you. We did. Didn't we go a little bit? Didn't the expectations go a little bit too far on this kid?
We on this media? We on the show warned everybody
that
it's way too early for Arch Manning to be getting this kind of hype.
Yeah,
we all knew why he was getting it.
I said
and even the kid himself was like, I don't want anything like this. I'm just trying to play college football, man.
Did you or Annapolis send that meme of turns out we were expecting the wrong uncle for him to play like with the Uncle Rico meme? I was like, oh boy. And you know what? That video shows his throwing motion about like when he throws that steak at your guy. What's his name?
Napoleon. Dynamite.
Yeah. When he goes that sidearm kind of short arm steak to the face, that kind of looked like Arch on Saturday. So I'm not going to lie.
That looked like Archie from the 70s.
Boy. Yeah. Not a good throwing motion, but you could get away with it back then. Want to apologize to Florida State. We assumed you were going to get absolutely housed. Absolutely beat up. And Tommy Castellanos, turns out you were right. The predictions came true. You gave Alabama all the billboard material, which makes it even more impressive, right? Like, when he said it, we were like, you have no business saying a dadgum thing, guy. You played at Boston College. Like, you're not going to do anything at Florida State. You can't trash talk Alabama. And Alabama was like, oh, we taking notes. We're taking notes, man. You did, and then you forgot to practice. Kalen DeBoer is in a real bad spot there. So we apologize to Florida State. You guys, by the way, did you see the stat of the weekend of Florida State was the 11th straight team that hosted Alabama that has beaten Alabama and rushed the field. So since 2004, everyone has rushed the field if they beat Alabama at their home. Now, it doesn't happen very often because we just pointed out, Bill Bender just pointed out what?
6 times in Saban's
in 10 years. In the 10 years just between 14 and 23, he lost 6 away games. Kalen DeBoer's lost 4 out of his last 5, which means he's had to watch the field getting stormed every time.
We're getting to the point where field storming for a win over Alabama is really not necessary.
I was on the field at BYU after. They have those
they didn't storm the field after the Portland State.
No, but they guard the goalposts still with half of Provo's police department.
Yes.
But they have the pneumatic, they have the hydraulic ones now. Mm-hmm. The ones that you can
take
lower
down.
You can lower like a church hoop. Who's got the key? Dude, my dad has the key. We should go play ball, dude.
We've all been there.
That's the chain. That's the chain sound, Annapolis, all right? When you want to play church ball, you got to do it.
We got to do better on sound effects. That was terrible. We got to come up with something.
Hey, everybody here knows what I was talking about.
Help us out.
You know that sound. You're standing on that carpeted basketball floor, and then the hoop comes down. Come on. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, that's a good round of apologies, by the way. I hope we don't have to do too many every week, but, we'll get to it. We'll come back. We've got a Sucks to Be You. People who it currently sucks to be. Standing by. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Basking in the sports misfortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present...
Yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It Sucks to Be You.
All right, welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. You know who it doesn't suck to be? You, listeners.
No,
tell you why.
Never.
Right now, if you're listening to DJ and PK this morning, you can, of course, deliver what they give every Monday morning, which is the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers play of the weekend. And if you're able to recall what exactly that was, then you give us a call right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. And you get yourself a chance to win some, it's an Amazon gift card. So, look, or if, as I like to call it, part of the payment plan that you have with Amazon. Just keep chipping away, all right? So you get that Amazon gift card with an impressive lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. No wonder people are switching to Chevy. Your Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers. 801-575-ZONE. I don't know. Any hints, Annapolis? You feeling generous over there?
It's a play that involves a Kearns Cougar.
Oh, boy.
That's good.
I knew
That's
that.
good.
Is this your alma mater, too? Don't let people forget. You weren't just, randomly throwing it out there. Every week we have to get some sort of love fest for the Kearns Cougars.
Kearns. I went to Kearns. I know a lot of Kearns. There's a lot of Kearns graduates here at Broadcast House. A lot.
Really?
Including some bosses. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that. Oh, no,
That's well represented here at KSL and in local media.
How's your alma mater football team doing, by the way?
Think they're 0-3. Not doing so hot this year.
This year? Sorry, that was mean. No, but this person had a good career there, right? All right, we've got lots to get to. All right, I've got the people who it currently sucks to be. Sucks to be Kalen DeBoer in Alabama.
Oof.
Don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. The expectations are always high. But having to be the guy after the guy is pretty tough. I'd want to be the guy who takes the job after the guy who took the job after the guy. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you never want to replace the legend.
It was easier to be Bronco Mendenhall than Gary Crowder.
Oh, for sure. And you want to be the guy to come in and go, man, you guys have had it rough. I'm going to try to restore power to it, man. And not just Bronco Mendenhall. Even, Kalani Sitake comes in and goes, all right, I'm going to be the guy.
I'm actually Kalen DeBoer should never have left Washington for Alabama. Shouldn't have done it. He could have been the man. Washington's a great place.
I know. I get why he did it.
In the Big Ten?
I get why he did it. I get why he did it. Because it's Ala-freaking-Bama,
Yeah,
dude.
but he's not a Southern guy.
I'm a Washington guy, and that's Ala-freaking-Bama. I would have taken that job. Abso-freaking-lutely.
But now he's going to stay. This is not going to go well. It's clearly not going well. They don't have the talent that the other teams have in the SEC to turn this around quickly. I'm not seeing it.
How long does Kalen?
Are you blown away by their quarterback?
No, but that's part of the problem.
This is not Alabama standard.
How long do you give Kalen DeBoer? If things start to struggle this year, if he goes...
He'll survive the season because they've already got... he's under contract. Massive contract.
Money, yeah. At what point, record-wise... Now, obviously, there's a lot more than record. If people are... Even if they're winning, but they suck as people, I don't think that's the case with him.
No. It's, by all accounts, great guy.
Yeah. But is it 7 wins if they go 7-5?
Winning season keeps them there. Again,
JJ, what are you talking about? No dang way. I'm not.
You think you're going to fire him if he goes 7-5 this year?
I could absolutely see it because you know what 7-5 gets you? You fall out of the rankings for the first time in checks notes 1,000 years. They've been in there for a millennia. I don't know. I don't know when the last time they were outside of the AP rankings. Did they ever fall out last year?
No.
Let's look it up. I don't know when the last time that they. I don't know how to look that up. Hey Siri, when was the last time that Alabama wasn't ranked in the AP poll?
2007.
All right.
2007.
That's crazy.
Alabama went 7-6 in Nick Saban's debut season.
And debut season Kalen DeBoer did better technically. So he's better than Nick Saban. All right?
Okay.
So give it some time. He had 2 more wins than Nick Saban had in his debut season, his debut season. There you go.
So I don't think Wisconsin's any good. They probably should win that game, but they're at Georgia on September 27th. They lost to Vanderbilt last year. They got to go to Missouri, Tennessee, at South Carolina, LSU.
Maybe Diego Pavia knew something about Alabama. So did Florida State. They're like, actually, hey, you guys, they start calling up people, start talking trash about Alabama. I heard some stuff, man. Okay. Hey, Diego, say some stuff. Say some crazy stuff, man. All right, I'm going to go off.
Castellanos, Pavia, they're all talking.
Sucks to be Arch Manning, who this week took all of the brunt of everybody on social media. Hey, this guy stinks. Oh, I told you he wasn't going to be any good. Oh, this guy's awful. This kid, I know he's gotten a lot of NIL money, but he's also gotten a lot of freaking hate. I feel bad for him. Sucks to be Arch Manning this weekend.
Yeah, he didn't perform as many had anticipated, and that's stupid. We've talked about it on our show. I think the kid's going to be fine long term, but the expectations heaped on him this year, people talking about him as the Heisman favorite.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything yet. Slow your roll. Like, let's let these young people, even though no matter what their name is, let them develop and figure it out. It's totally unfair to put that kind of stuff on Arch Manning, and I feel bad for him that he's been in that position. He performed as well as most quarterbacks will perform against Ohio State's defense this year. Not many quarterbacks in the country are going to be able to be effective against that front, man.
Yeah.
They were tough.
Yeah. And maybe by the end of the year, you see him again in the college football playoff. That's what dreams are made of, man. Let's go. Okay? Sucks to be Paul Feinbaum, who was...
tough weekend for the SEC.
Paul Feinbaum, dude. That guy, he must have been on the Manning payroll the way he talked about that kid.
Yeah.
So it sucks to be him. Who else does it suck to be? Sucks to be the UCLA Bruins. Turns out you suck.
Oh, my gosh.
You sucked for a while now.
Like, Utah humiliated them. Humiliated them.
It got worse. I don't think that team wins more than 3 games on the season if they play like that.
And then you start talking about coaches in trouble.
Yeah, Deshaun Foster. Here's the thing, too. I told you guys, the only quarterback people wanted to talk about this weekend was freaking Nico. And even after,
sucks to be Nico.
It sucks to be Nico. Because everybody talked about you and you were by far the second best quarterback in that building. And there were only 2. All right?
I don't know. I thought Bird Ficklin was pretty good out there. Nico wasn't as efficient as Bird Ficklin.
So I'm not joking. Now, this is something, too, that was pointed out to me. They're like, watch Nico's body language. He turned into full-on Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Pouting like crazy after that thing went down. So, yeah, you know how that's going to go. Might win the Heisman Trophy, might not do anything else. The team goes 7-5 the next year. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go around the corner. When we return, we've got sound for you. BYU preparing for Stanford. Utah welcoming Cal Poly this weekend as they put more entrance into the Ring of Honor up at the University of Utah. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's the home opener for the Utes as they battle Cal Poly in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Oh,
we should have played that after the victory.
We should. BYU beat the spread, everybody. Our favorite BYU Instagrammer, Dr. Jeff Hill, got on there. There's a reason that guy's got a giant smile on his face all the time, by the way. All right? Has nothing to do with football. Oh, yeah, they're in Hawaii now, right? I don't know why I'm following this guy's journey, but I am. I like the guy. Yeah.
He's the happiest guy in
Happiest
Happy
guy
Valley.
on the planet. Yeah, absolutely. BYU fans, Utah State fans, everybody excited. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Give it a shot today. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, many other retailers in the refrigerated section. Give it a shot. Let's kick off the hour as we always do. We've got tons of sound to get to. We're going to get your thoughts and we're going to get some reactions to not just BYU and the win that they had over the weekend, and Utah and the win they had over the weekend. How about getting ready for week 2 at these programs? Let's kick it off with the cut right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. Thanks for being with us at Trajan Wealth. TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your trusted needs in retirement. Let's start with Utah. Well, first of all, I did want to get your thoughts, though, too. Utah State got the win over UTEP over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on Bryson Barnes' first go with Bronco Mendenhall as his new mentor, as if he's going to be his quarterback mentor. I will say Bryson Barnes and Bronco Mendenhall, I feel like that's a match made in heaven. And Utah State, much-needed win over the weekend. I say much-needed because it's a good place to start at least.
So there's a lot of great things about it. Bryson Barnes is solid. He was exactly as you'd expect him to be. Miles Davis, the BYU transfer.
Yeah, he ran all over the place.
Led Utah State in both rushing and receiving yardage. A perfect fit for him up there. Big moment for Miles Davis. BYU fans who followed Miles Davis, you got to be happy for him. Perfect fit for him up in Logan. The offense is good. The offensive line still has work to do.
Yeah.
Barnes was under duress quite a bit. So that's one thing that still has me concerned is that offensive line is not where it needs to be. But it's so hard at the Group of 5 level to get your offensive line where you want it to be. The best guys are all in the P4. And it's once you develop a guy, they're gone. That's the biggest problem that Group of 5 teams have right now is getting depth in your offensive line.
But Bronco has a way to get guys to buy in. And
there's no doubt.
And I don't know if that means staying because of NIL or regardless of the NIL money coming in, but there is some of that where the commitment to the kind of core group and all that. I think it's.
Well, why do you think he's being so coy about his depth chart and who is? They're trying to keep the guys in the program. They don't want to lose guys. I get it. So that's the one glaring issue I see with Utah State. But the defense was. You saw Nick Howell and Bronco Mendenhall's fingerprints all over that defense. Yeah. They were all over Malachi Nelson. Flying around, making plays. They gave up 16 points, but UTEP had to work really hard for those 16. If you're a Utah State fan, you got to feel really good about the Bronco Mendenhall era, what's to come. Bronco's going to get that thing rolling. And, considering where things were last year, 28-16, you'd like a bigger gap against UTEP, but that was a good start, getting a double-figure victory at home. Now fans need to show up.
Yep.
Fans now, you saw what the product is. You saw what you have to cheer for.
Was it not full? Lacking?
It wasn't that great.
Wow.
So get up to those games, start watching those games. And they got Texas A&M this week. And we all know that's a tough task. But
then they go 2 games in a row.
See how they show.
They're going to open it up conference play-wise against Air Force. And then they host McNeese State. And then they go to Vanderbilt. I bet between the Texas A&M game and the Vanderbilt game, you're going to see Broncos guys surprise some people, I think.
Absolutely.
Right? There's going to be one of those games where you're going to have somebody stumble for a minute, and they're going to be like, oh, that David just popped us in the mouth, man. Like,
as that team gets better and more confident, they might roll into Vanderbilt and get that win.
Could be.
They might do that.
That's a very Bronco Mendenhall thing to do.
Exactly.
Fly under the radar, and then you're like, Bronco, you guys just beat Vanderbilt. He's like, oh, that's a good team effort. We just worked hard together as a team. Brothers. What? Come on, man.
Band of brothers.
Get excited.
This real quick to wrap up Utah State. Look, I'm not saying I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go the rest of the season, but the Mountain West is wide open. Boise State is no longer a juggernaut. They're not. They don't have this. They don't have the skill position guys that they've had in the past. They don't have a Heisman Trophy candidate on that roster right now.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle to score points this year. San Jose State took an L over the weekend, a team that everyone said was going to be in the mix. UNLV struggled with Idaho State out of the gate. The Mountain West is wide open, so why not Utah State? Why not?
Yeah, I get it. Let's get into some of this audio here from the University of Utah, and this is Coach Whittingham in his press conference today talking about getting ready for these teams this week. Cal Poly facing Utah. This is one that they want to get at home, and they want to kind of get their guys right. They want to get everything, all their ducks in a row. You're going to see them prepare for this game just like you did with UCLA. Here's what Witt said about the positives from Game 1, how to carry those into Game 2.
Ran the football well, threw it efficiently, converted third downs really well. Red zone, outstanding. Didn't turn the ball over, 0 turnovers, and really never had any lulls in the offense. And we only punted one time. We had 10 possessions, 7 touchdowns, a field goal, a punt, and end of game. So anyway, it was very positive, and it was good to see the offense executing the way they did for the full 60 minutes.
I love when those drives end in end of game.
Mm-hmm.
Just going down the stat sheet, and we had an end of game. That was good. Whit also talking about the line of scrimmage. This is where they know week to week. Now, I don't know how many people you're going to fool on the defensive line side of things. You're not. But I will say you will absolutely see this offensive and defensive line dialed up every week, and that's where it starts for Whit.
Really, the success, in my opinion, of the entire game started in the line of scrimmage. We did a good job controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That was the biggest difference. Definitely had some things we can do better and things to work on. Tackling in the secondary was not as crisp as it needs to be, not as clean as it needs to be. Some special team errors, missed the first extra point, dropped a kickoff return, and got pinned deep in our territory, and mishit a few kickoffs. So there's things to work on there as well. So no shortage of things for us to address this week. But again, a good start to the season, and we just got to continue to work hard and focus from week to week, take them one at a time.
Week to week, one at a time. Never heard him say something like that. No, Kyle Whittingham doesn't change. He will never change. Here's what Whit had to say about the defenders that are playing on offense, because it was asked, so what are we really going to see from these guys? And they're not laying off. They're going to make sure these guys play.
Well, we plan on using them each and every week. How much is exactly as you mentioned, what the matchup was and what the personnel groups they're in. Coach Beck typically goes into a game with 4, 5, or 6 personnel groups, and just depending on how many of those groups they're involved in. But I thought it was really good production from those guys. Smith, 5 catches for 50 or 60 yards. And Lander caught the touchdown pass and actually blocked really well, too. Lander, I'm convinced, could be one of the best tight ends in the country if that was his full-time position. So he's a big plus. And then Benny did exactly what we hoped. He didn't have a lot of production on paper, but he did a great job of taking the top off the coverage and stretching the defense and opening some things up for other guys.
Okay, there you go. They're not going to. It's not a gimmick. These guys are going to play offense, man. They're going to use them. And people are like, oh man, that's a lot. It's like, okay, well, tell me if their production drops off on defense at all, and then maybe you'll see some switches, but I doubt that'll happen. I mean, these are guys that Whit really likes what they give him on offense. If these are the best players you have on the field and you can put them out there on both sides, for heaven's sakes, do it. And I'm not opposed to it at all. So when he says, yeah, they're going to play some offense, what do we say all offseason? Yeah, but like how much, though? What are we really talking here? And they both got touchdowns in the very first game against UCLA.
He didn't lie to us at Big 12 Media Days. He told us what they were going to do.
We're going to
play. We were
kind
of like, well, that's interesting.
Cool, but like
I don't
how
think
much?
any of us saw. And throw Jackson Benny in there, too. There multiple guys are playing both ways, and it works. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance that. But it's an effective use of their talents. And we should have saw it coming as to the extent of which they would do it, how much they would do. I thought maybe they would, kind of like what they did with Lander with the one play, right? A special play, they put him in there, catches the defense off guard. You get a touchdown or a big gain, but Smith Snowden had a lot of offensive touches.
Yep.
And he was good in his touches, and
Absolutely.
it really helped that offense. So I like what they're doing, and I like that they're thinking outside of the box a little bit, where you've looked at, what they did with Sione Vaki. It's not like Utah's new to this. And I think they've looked at it again and thought, well, obviously Travis Hunter won a Heisman Trophy playing both ways. As long as we manage this correctly, let's use these guys' talents to the utmost of let's get everything out of these guys we can on both sides of the ball if it means winning football games, and that's what they did.
Big Sky opponent, Cal Poly coming to town. The Mustangs are, I don't know how many times they've faced Utah in their career, if they or in their existence if they have, but I will say
lots of great memories of great games against Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, the Mustangs. No, but here's what he talked about with that game, because it's an opportunity now. They're going to be able to really buckle down and just kind of make everything. You can be perfect in a game like this weekend. And here's what Whit said about getting everybody ready for this game.
Well, first of all, I don't overlook anybody. I don't care what level they are or what their record is. As soon as you do that, you find yourself getting smacked in the face. And so we don't approach it any differently in our preparation and how we go about our business. And we expect our guys to work and focus just as if it was whoever we played. It doesn't matter. And so in that respect, the preparation remains the same. The process remains the same. But you hope, if you get a chance, especially early in the season, to get a look at some of the younger guys, you hope that happens. But that's getting ahead of things in our opinion. If we are able to take control of the game and get a lead, then it would be great to see some of these younger guys and see what they can do.
They're excited about this whole group, so I think that this was a good weekend for them to get kind of reset again, get guys feeling healthy. I'm not going to say it's a bye week. I'm just saying I think that it is good for them to be able to get the type of a game that you expect against FCS teams. Dial your team in at home in that first game, get your fans pumped up as much as they kind of can be for a game like this, and score some points, get everybody in the game you can, and then move on, and then get ready for the next week. Here's BYU, who had that very game on Saturday. Here's what Kalani Sitake had to say about Stanford coming into town and what that looks like. And obviously Stanford losing in week 0. They have a bye week in week 1. It's kind of weird, but they had that extra week to prepare. And here's what Kalani said about that Stanford program.
A really good system. I mean, obviously, Frank Reich's leading the way as head coach. And you look at the staff, they have a really good coaching staff, good talent on their team. All you have to do is look at the guys that we got from there. I mean, we got Bear and Tiger, and they came from there. I think they were put in a really difficult situation as a program, and I think Andrew Luck and Frank Reich are doing everything they can to make it right and making sure that they can do what they can for the outgoing seniors and get that program going.
Stanford's down, but I don't know for how long. Stanford is one of these teams that is going to struggle until they find an identity in the new NIL. It is not a program that is able to do the type. Look, if they wanted to play around with the money situation, if they wanted to dip into some extremely loaded alumni, they could do it. This is not the way that they do it. Oh, boy. What's the over-under on Jordan Hudson sightings today?
Hanging out with Randy Moss.
Okay. By the way, the amount of former Bill Belichick players that are at this UNC and TCU game, and I know that ESPN tried their darndest. It's like a 20-to-1 ratio of showing TCU versus North Carolina,
which is why I want TCU to kick their butt.
I know, it's the same reason that it's almost like this. It's like Utah. Think about it. How much flair are they throwing at how much attention did Nico Iamaleava get going into that UCLA game?
Too much.
It's the only one that he talked about. And we kept saying, look, we're the only ones here locally saying that the other quarterback is probably going to be better. We know the other team is definitely going to be prepared better, this Utah team. Sonny Dykes, now this is what's weird. Auburn beat Baylor. That was your dark horse pick for a champion in the Big 12. TCU is my dark horse champion of the Big 12, and it's really hard to imagine that they're not going to be successful, but I just wonder. And I get Josh Hoover is the better quarterback of these two quarterbacks. Bill Belichick is not going to snap the football, all right? I don't know how much influence that Jordan Hudson's going to have from up there. By the way, did you see that? She's like chatting Randy Moss's ear off, and he's like, yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's crazy. Checks his watch. Anyway, I'm going to go down to the field, see if I can find Teddy Bruschi, my guy. All right. Here's what Kalani had to say about the recruiting rivalry against Stanford. Apparently, that's a big thing. It's not just about stealing guys from Stanford, although they've done that. Both teams have an academic level that you got to get to. And if you have an extremely, really, really smart, really, really good LDS athlete, Stanford is always right there knocking at the door to get those guys before BYU does.
All these tough programs that recruit against, Stanford's one of them. So, they have a really good system in place there with education and what they have with the football program. And, so the standard they have is still there. We're always going to have to recruit against everybody, especially in the West Side. And they're an academic institution that higher learning. And so it's really difficult to get in school there. So we have a lot of common ground when it comes to getting guys that can be accepted into BYU too. So we're going to battle them always. I don't think that's ever going to change.
All right. Frank Reich, he's the head coach. What do we say? He's the interim head coach. He's doing Andrew Luck a solid here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any chance he stays there forever?
No.
Not forever. But I mean, like, that he wants to be the
Probably
head
not.
coach. All right.
Probably not.
Here's what Frank Reich had to say about Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback that was signed to play with Stanford, and then after the firing of Troy Taylor, ended up here at BYU.
Very positive. And yeah, just from looking at the film and watching the game, some of it on television, he's an explosive athlete, has a strong arm, is a threat to run the ball. So kind of figured that having a little bit of that QB run game would be in there with him. And he's got an explosive arm as well.
He's got big legs, too. And if
I was waiting for Frank Reich to call him a centaur.
If you're an opposing coach and you're like, hold on, I got to come out of the locker room. I got to look at this guy's hindquarters.
I got to look at his butt.
Look
at that butt.
Oh,
Coach Barnum admitted he came out and was staring at Bear Bachmeier's butt.
Now listen,
it's not the word he used to describe it.
Football coaches are weird people. Okay,
yes,
I feel like this guy. I feel like that guy at Portland State was basically every other coach that I had in high school. I came out there, I seen his butt, man. You know what? And I said,
I took a nice good look at that kid's butt.
That guy's a football player. I'm like, geez, coach, you weirdo. Here's Frank Reich also talking about whether or not this is an advantage for BYU to be able to get some Stanford transfers, even though they weren't really hanging out in the program. I mean, Tiger had some time in the program, but it's not like Bear's going to share all the plays with him.
I really don't think so. My experience with that kind of thing is that it usually gets overrated both ways on what we know about Bear and Tiger, but on what they know about us. And I'm not particularly worried about what they're telling them about what we do, because honestly, we've changed a good bit from when they were here as well. And they run a different scheme than we run. And so I think right now we're early in the season. I think both teams are focused on our players and what we do more than anything else.
Hey, who would have thought BYU runs a different scheme than you guys do as a different team? That's crazy. Here's what Frank Reich said about BYU's offense and the run game and what they expect in Provo this weekend from that run game.
Obviously, I had a dynamic run game with quarterback being involved in the run game and the play pass and getting him on the move. He's a good athlete, so you're going to get him on the move and got a lot of stuff, a lot of action going on. So certainly respect. Really, this is a very well-coached team. You can see that. They're a good football team.
Here's what he said about BYU's NFL-style defense. He has seen the same thing we do. These guys fly around, and they have multiple looks and multiple reads, and they hide coverages. Here's what he said about BYU's defense they're facing.
Their schemes are very sound defensively. I feel like I'm watching an NFL defense with everything they do. They do a little bit of everything. They're multiple in every way. Their pressure package is quite sophisticated, a lot of stuff you see at the NFL level, and they do a good job of executing it.
Good for those kids who want to go to the NFL, right, JJ?
Mm-hmm. And BYU is putting defensive players in the NFL right now.
There you go. All right. Let's take another break here. We'll come back. So there you go. There's your weekly sound from your two head coaches at BYU and at Utah, getting ready for their opponents this week. And you're going to hear all that, of course, every week right here on the KSL Sports Zone. Let's take a break. More to go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, as we watch the pregame breakdowns here. North Carolina, TCU, yes, another game of college football. This one a big one between two Power 4 opponents. We're high on TCU. Think that they could be really, really tough in the Big 12 this year. North Carolina has a brand new coach. That's all I know about him. That's all anybody knows about him. At least around here.
I like TCU tonight.
Yeah, I don't.
Even on the road, I like TCU.
The amount of athletes, and I know there's a lot of attention on this North Carolina program, but it seems like it's the only place where people are putting their attention. If I'm TCU, I'm loving that. It's like, fine. Don't focus in on us at your peril. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It is going to be fascinating to see if Bill Belichick can translate NFL head coaching success into college. The other way around usually doesn't work. But, JJ, your thoughts as to what does the future hold for Bill Belichick coaching at this level? One, can he have that type of success? Can North Carolina legitimately become a contender when it comes to not just college football playoff, but a national championship contender when he's at the helm?
As long as he gets the right assistants and he gets the right players, he can accomplish a lot. But that remains to be seen. They have 30 freshmen and 40 transfers, 70 new players in 2025.
That's like almost Utah State numbers right there, man.
Pretty darn close. And so we don't know a lot about North Carolina. We don't know a lot about Bill Belichick as a college head coach. It's a different world. Although the difference between college football and the NFL these days, especially at the Power 4 level, is not as much as it used to be, right? Because now you have, recruiting's different where it's like, okay, what can we pay these guys as opposed to, let's get them on our campus and show them our incredible facilities. Recruiting is all about NIL. It's all about the revenue sharing.
Yeah.
It's getting players paid. And so that's more in the vein that Bill Belichick's used to dealing with. And getting young people to respond to a coach that's in his 70s that, yes, has had incredible success in the NFL. Probably the greatest NFL head coach of all time based on Super Bowl victories. Can they buy into what he's teaching them at his age? Because you're seeing what's the trend in college football these days. It's a young man's game, especially when it comes to coaching.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, too, the interesting thing about, watching this guy do this and trying to figure it out, how much does he love being here and actually coaching like I want to make a difference versus like just taking a paycheck and kind of he thought he was going to be hired by an NFL team at this point, right?
Yeah, his ego's a little bruised right now.
Yeah, and so I just wonder if he is that long-term committed guy. Do you see this? What is it? This guy's on our team. His name's Will Hardy. Get out of here, dude. You're confusing all of us Jazz fans. I mean, some young white dude named Will Hardy.
There's only one Will Hardy.
There's only one young Will Hardy on this planet, all right? And Utah owns him, right? Get out of here. JJ, the NFL Blitz looks like this. Jaylen Warren signs a 2-year extension to that Steelers deal that he already had. We like Jaylen Warren, like what he does for that team. I don't know. The NFL is starting up this week, man. Thursday Night Football on NBC. Yes. We're back, baby. This is going to be it. So what do you think about Jaylen Warren signing up for another 2 years with the Steelers?
I know he's loved there. Sly is still very connected to the Steelers organization. They talk really highly of Jaylen Warren, and he's a culture fit for them. Hard-nosed guy, undrafted, just a workhorse that likes to play physical football. So he's a perfect fit there, so it makes a lot of sense. They moved on from Najee Harris in the offseason, and I don't think Jaylen Warren's role is going to change much, but he's going to get paid, and it's awesome. One of the great stories, seeing Jaylen Warren go from East High School, where he was just unbelievable, had to overcome a lot of adversity, had to get some stuff in order off the field, and then to go to Utah State and snow, Utah State, Oklahoma State, quite a journey for him, but it's great to see a local kid do well, and good for him.
Tyreek Hill not among the Dolphins captains after his offseason apology. So does it matter? Who cares who the captains are in the NFL, right? I mean, come on.
Somewhat, yeah.
I just assume the C on the chest for the quarterback is like about as much as you can kind of guarantee.
It's so overrated.
Do they get bonuses or what?
No.
I always love how they do the thing.
It's an honor.
Oh,
That's
wow.
about it.
He's got the 4 stars on there, and they're filled with gold.
Wouldn't be surprised if most coaches just pick 4 guys to go do the coin toss before the game. Who cares?
It's your little league peewee kids.
Right.
Who hasn't done it yet?
Yeah. Who's on the rotation?
Billy, we need you.
Did you go last week? No. All right. Well,
all right, you're up.
Go out there.
Brian Dable
Call
says.
heads.
Brian Dable says the Giants' decision on QB2 is going to be revealed on Sunday. What are your hopes and dreams for that one? I really hope that it just is Jameis Winston and they move right on and don't have to worry about Jackson Dart being a part of that conversation. Right?
We're such Jackson Dart fans that we don't want the
don't
Giants to ruin him.
Don't ruin that
like
kid.
They did
Come on.
Zach Wilson in New York with the Jets. I would like them to just let Jackson Dart watch from the sideline this year and learn. And I think next year he would be ready to go. Don't throw him out there too early. So hopefully it's Jameis Winston, but I'm like you. I don't want to rush Jackson Dart out there. Maybe later in the season. I don't know, but probably not. Just put him on the shelf. It's kind of like I don't know. Just don't break him. Don't break him.
Well, I do think it's interesting because it really doesn't matter to us. We're like, hey, yeah, sure. You got two guys who are veteran quarterbacks that can teach this kid how to be a pro, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. But the desire for Brian Daboll to try to have to prove himself as a winner, right? And as I deserve this job.
He's on the hot seat.
Definitely is. Definitely
he's got to win.
So there you go. You've got that decision is going to be coming this weekend. So there you go. Dolphins outside linebacker coach Ryan Crow is actually on indefinite leave from the team. He got arrested last week, charged with domestic battery. No place for that in the NFL, obviously, and I hope that the team and the NFL does all their investigating, and whatever they find, if he's a bad dude, throw him to the wolves. And you know what? I don't know why we create paths back for guys who have had multiple problems in this category. And Ryan Crow has had issues before, and this one's a bad one, and this is a bad look for the NFL. All of these domestic violence things, it seems like they pop up a lot with these professional athletes and with these and in the NFL in particular. And not because these people are bad people, but I think that what happens is they get shielded by the shield, right?
Yes.
In certain cases, if they're good enough, which is a weird thing.
Yeah. Not in this case, though. So I'm glad they're handling it.
Let me see here. What's up next on the?
Matthew Stafford's going to start.
Hey, your guy?
Oh, my back.
I thought it was his shoulder.
This game counts. I'm back.
Was it his shoulder?
No, it's his back.
It was his back? Okay. What is he, Lowry marketing? Got some stiffness back here.
You can't blame a guy in his mid-30s not wanting to have to go through the grind of camp, right?
Well, but just do what everybody else does and just go, yeah, he's sitting out. We don't need the whole rigmarole of my back. Ow. I just don't think. Yeah, so he's expected to start. Is he going to be any good, Annapolis? Your guys, the Rams, what are you guys expected to do this year?
He's going to be great.
Okay. That sounded so fake.
We're going to the Super Bowl, man. Come on.
He's going to do great.
The
Rams are going to win games this year.
And then some guy in the back with the cue card. We're going to do great this year.
Yeah.
Thanks, Annapolis.
Little Stockholm syndrome.
Really believes. Yeah, that's a guy who's being held hostage by somebody, forced to say that they're going to do great. Yeah. No, they're my team. Najee Harris cleared for contact as he plans to play versus the Chiefs on Friday. So you got Thursday game, Friday game, Sunday games, obviously, and then Monday. Do they have any Saturday games? Are they nice enough to?
They skipped Saturday. They left college football alone there.
They could absolutely give the middle finger to the NCAA and go to college football and just go, don't care. We're the biggest game in town, and they are. And don't you feel like college football goes, hey, thank you, Mr. NFL, for taking a week off and not starting your football season early enough for us to be able to have a Monday night game and a Sunday night games that people watch. We appreciate it. You're welcome, son. Kiss the hand as you walk by.
Did you see the spread for the Thursday night opener? Cowboys Eagles, or should I say Eagles?
Can I guess? Where is it being played?
It's in Philly.
I'm gonna say. The NFL, double-digit lines aren't seen very often in the NFL.
No.
I'm going to say 6.5, though.
Bigger.
No.
Yeah.
9.5?
7.5.
Wow.
Philly minus 7.5 against the Cowboys. No respect for Jerry's Cowboys.
Jerry's guys. If Micah Parsons was playing,
we're going to be better against the run.
If he was
we're
going
to be better against the run. Saquon Barkley's not going to beat us.
Hey, if he was healthy. If Micah Parsons was healthy and signed with the Cowboys, there was in an all-universe, none of these back and forths that happened with this contract stuff. What's the line of this game?
3.5.
Yeah, like 4.
Yeah.
I agree. Crazy. But everyone's going, yeah, they're no good. No one cares. That organization doesn't care. Take another couple points off. All right. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We've got our best and worst next. Don't want to miss any of it. Don't want to miss also Hans and Scotty are going to be, of course, doing their Cougar preview shows all year long, courtesy of the folks at Beehive Meals. Don't miss it. On Wednesday, your Cougar preview show with Hans and Scotty. We'll take a break. More to go. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
Here we go. North Carolina coming out of the field at their home opener against TCU. I don't know if you know this. They have a new coach this year.
I didn't hear. Who is it?
It's not Mac Brown. He is an old guy, though. We have a poll up online, by the way, speaking of Bill Belichick. Yeah, Bill Belichick.
Is that his girlfriend?
Bill Belichick has a girlfriend. William Belichick. I'm sorry. William Belichick.
What's his record as a college coach?
73 years old. 0-0 as a head coach in college football.
Oh, okay.
Has never won a game in college football. That's the thing about him. I'm pulling for him because he's never won a college game before. All right?
Is a young assistant finally getting the crack? Is that the big time?
Yeah, finally someone
finally gave him a shot.
So Jordan Hudson's at the game. Don't know if you know
Of course she is.
What famous partner is using their more famous partner more? Is it Jordan Hudson with Bill Belichick, or is it Taylor Swift's fiance, Travis Kelce? Who's using whom?
Travis
more?
Swift.
Travis. He's like, I've decided to take her name on.
That's how it works.
Please put her.
She's the billionaire, not me.
Please put the nameplate Swift on the back of Travis Kelce's jersey when they get married. Please. All right? No, but seriously. It's Bill Belichick, right? He's getting used more.
Yeah. It's elder abuse at this point.
He's like,
seriously, someone needs to call.
She's all, sign on this line right
here. Call the police.
Sign on this line right here. It's just standard procedure for marketing stuff that I'm doing. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you. Now he's mine. All right.
Something real creepy going on there.
There is something going on. They showed her up in the booth with Randy Moss, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Boy. She's just rubbing shoulders with Hall of Famers. No problem. I'll leave it there. Best and worst of the day brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith brand of dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. You're Doug. Best is, you see this? I know Army lost last week to, checks notes, Tarleton State.
Do we need to start taking Tarleton State seriously?
Army should have. Maybe if they would have taken them seriously, then we would have not had to have dealt with this. I've had this. The FCS programs that get paid out. And by the way, do they have to is there a budget coming out of the military that they have to pay an FCS program with?
You'd think they'd have to,
Does the U.S. military have to have an earmarked program for playing FCS programs and paying them $1 million to come in and beat your...
Well, it's West Point. They have an athletic department. It's not like it's... I know.
I just want
government money. It's not like your taxpayer dollars are funding that buyout from that FCS team for Army.
So what funds it then?
Same thing that funds everybody else.
High Army donors?
Doesn't work any different, does it?
You get these Army alum. You get Coach K coming in. I'll float some dollars to your little football program and basketball program here. No problem. But their safety, one of their safeties, Larry Pickett Jr., he and his father are getting tons of praise because they helped a man from a burning vehicle 2 days after his first game in college football. Now, they lost that one, but I think Larry Pickett Jr. gets a dub for the weekend for the best of the weekend. So Larry Pickett Jr. and Larry Pickett Sr. pulling somebody out of a burning vehicle. Pretty darn cool.
That is cool. That's amazing.
USA.
Where was Gronk?
Hey, he's like, I'll pull you out of this burning car. Your car's not covered, by the way. You weren't in the military, Gronk. Sorry.
What about my car?
I think that's the weirdest shtick. Ha ha, you can't get USAA insurance. Anyway, it's the best. Florida State linebacker Ethan Pritchard was injured in a shooting over the weekend, hospitalized.
Whoa.
Critical but stable condition, which is always confusing to me. Like critical condition but stable. I'm glad.
I thought it was Alabama that shot themselves in the foot over the weekend.
Wow, JJ going weird on that one. Am I wrong? Takes a
Annapolis is laughing.
Well, he's laughing because it was so tone deaf, brother. Jeez. A kid was shot at a party. You're all,
he's okay.
Here's a good time.
He's in stable condition.
Here's a good time for a pun.
Relax, guys.
They
Jeez.
shot themselves in the foot. Huh?
Relax.
It's not like. Remember, was it Plaxico Burress who accidentally shot his leg?
Yeah, he did. And he went to jail for it.
Wearing sweats.
Accidentally discharged his gun in a club in New York, and he went to jail.
They're all. Went
to prison.
What'd you put the gun in? How did you get the gun in your pants? I was wearing sweats, so I just put them in a big pocket. Okay, cool. Good for you. All right. We'll take the break here. We'll be back again around the corner. You don't want to miss any of it.
Apparently I've been fired.
Somebody's calling. I'm not going to take this phone call right now. Bail out of JJ. Bail out of JJ making gun puns.
He's alive.
All right.
He lives. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine, declares JJ. Local host declares young linebacker.
He's more alive than Alabama right now, I guarantee you that.
See, the puns keep coming. All right. We'll take the break here. We'll be back around the corner, 97.5 The Kids Sports Zone.